That's why, I've said repeatedly it was a mistake for me to
Why was
give him that
Bernie
vote.
Sanders right and you were wrong? What do you think was in him that allowed him to see what you couldn't see?
Well, I don't know, because he voted, as I said, for the regime change resolution.
Well,
By the time, well, it was only a few.
It was rhetorical.
It was only a few years earlier, and look, that was a mistake, and I've said it was a mistake. And I had good friends like Vice President Biden who were with me, and I had good friends who were on the other side. And I think part of what certainly influenced me is after 9/11. I went to New York with Chuck Schumer the next day, my fellow senator. We were the only plane in the sky, and we flew over Ground Zero, and we saw the devastation. And we were briefed fully on all of the threats that were still out there. We get back to Washington. I go and see then Senator Byrd, get him to commit to helping New York, because the first request out of the White House was for $20 billion for the Pentagon, for Homeland Security, not a penny for New York. So I went and said, look, we have to get money for New York. When I went to the White House, there were about 4 of us senators, the 2 from Virginia, the 2 of us from New York. Yeah. And I knew that the Republicans in the White House and in the Senate didn't want to rebuild New York, or at least they weren't willing to put money into it. So I'm sitting there in the Oval Office, and Bush says to me, what do you need? I said, I need $20 billion to rebuild New York. He said, you got it. And he was good to his word. So my experience with him on something of great import to our country was positive, because literally that same day I get back to the Capitol and the Republicans are trying to take that money away. We kept calling the White House. Bush kept saying, I gave them my word. I'm going to stick with it. So, I had a different set of experiences.
No, but we have 100,000 people dead in Iraq because of that war that we started. We invaded. We did the war. We were the war.